Hello everybody and welcome. This is the Midnight McBride Show, show number 25. And I've called this show Joseph and his amazing Technicolor video podcast. Now you might wonder why, and that's because for two reasons. One is because my guest is called Joseph Ibbett, and secondly because Joseph is my partner in crime, the guy that does the magic. We filmed the show, but after that, there's a lot of work goes into this show. It's multi-camera, there's several audio streams, there's a fair bit of editing involved afterwards to make it look polished and professional. And that's what Joe does. Joe's the man. So welcome onto the show, Joe.
Hi there. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Joe, so you've come all the way from London today?
Yeah, not too far actually. Only just about three hours or so to get here. It's kind of novelty to be on a train at the moment, so I really enjoyed just sitting there.
So Joe, all the way from London, and I was really keen to get you on the show for lots of reasons, but one is to get you this side of the camera as a thank you really for all the work you've done. You know, you are my partner in crime, my number two. This show would not be possible without you.
Melting my heart.
Yeah, seriously,
I can't come on here and cry right away. It's too much.
This show, I think a lot of people do a video podcast and they get to 80, 100 shows even. You watch Joe Rogan's video podcast and the first 300 shows, the quality's terrible. 300. And if you watch London Real, the first 100 or so shows, quality, rubbish. If you watch the Real Geordie podcast, now I'm not a fan of that podcast, but he's got 1.8 million subscribers. And if you watch that one also, he gets to, I think, something like show number 50, there's a slight improvement, 80 before it's a decent quality. We've started off from the offset with a really high quality, high definition, WAV quality audio, a really polished product, I think.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah. With multi-camera. Most people start off with one camera and a mic in the bedroom, this kind of thing. We didn't. We've got a studio, we've got multi-camera. And although I can record and run the show, the other side of it, number one, it's very time consuming, and number two, it's a very special skill set, which is what you have.
Oh, well, it's definitely the side of things that I think I am more naturally. I'm a bit of an introvert. I don't know. That's the topic to discuss.
I just want to say Dungeons and Dragons.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
I can't believe for 6 months now we've been communicating, and it was only today that you slipped that in. You obviously don't tell many people that.
Wait, I have to I've got to make sure. I've got to make sure that they don't drop me. No. Dungeons and Dragons. It's for anyone who's not played. It's a lot of fun. Like, get your mates. Kill some orcs. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Well, I know a lad that dresses up as an orc at weekends. I do. And we went once, we hired a farmhouse in Chester, and there was about 15 of us went there, and I won't say who was there, but we partied. You know, it was a heavy weekend. And then we saw a horse run past at the end of the garden. And, well, we say a horse, a unicorn. And we all went, what? And then we saw a knight running past with a shield and a sword. And shield. Yes, and then we also saw a wizard and a witch, at which point one guy just curled up in a ball and got really paranoid, and we thought, what's going on? Turns out the farmhouse we'd hired, that the land that it belonged to had been hosting a Dungeons and Dragons weekend.
Yeah, so you have Dungeons and Dragons is like the kind of role play, the board game, and you got LARPing, which is the real life where you dress up and stuff, which I haven't got into yet, but it's probably coming. Well, so I'm going to be hosting the next, because we've just finished, my group of friends, we've just finished
a battle.
A session, and I'm going to be hosting the next set. And I'm going to get people over to my place, and I'm going to buy a fog machine. I'm going to dress up as a wizard.
Yes.
It's going to be huge. Currently it's all, we're cool people, like to go out for drinks and stuff. And it's all a bit on the down low, but now I'm going to go full wizard. It's going to be great.
So, this show wouldn't be possible without you, Joe. Really, really grateful. As you know, the very first show when I started off, originally, I had done a little bit of work with another video editor, and it became quite difficult, and it wasn't very manageable. And then you came along, and you're like a ray of sunshine. And I believe that synchronicity and alignment brought you to me, and we hooked up. And I think Becky Jones is responsible for putting that out there, but I could be wrong, you know.
Yeah, I need to trace down this exact connection because I have some cousins that well, funny, they used to live in Bolton, but they've literally moved out about a week or two ago. So I don't know exactly.
Is it because they knew you were coming?
Well.
But yeah, possibly Becky Jones, because I remember saying that I'm really looking for somebody to do this show with. And then the following day, Becky said she'd mention it to people she knew and that there might be somebody they had in mind. And following day, I ended up speaking to you.
I popped up, I was like, give me that job.
I said what would be really bizarre is if that wasn't the connection at all and you just appeared out of nowhere.
Just from the sky.
Ether,
yeah. I mean, it is like, because I know, my story, I'm trying to make that transition into doing like video and doing more of it, and it was the perfect opportunity to work on something really awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it is. It's the product. I wanted it to be professional right from the off. And if I'm doing something, I don't really do anything by half. I do it. If I do it, I'm doing it, and I'm all in. But I had to learn a lot fast. And if anybody doesn't know, we're going to be doing a series of tech videos that go along with this show, so that you can see how we do it. Before the show, during the show, post-show, and also the kit that's involved. And this might not mean a lot to anybody at the minute, but we're using 2 Canon M50s. We use a H6 field recorder. The sound runs through that, originally in WAV format. It comes out the line out. We split the sound. It's synced into a video camcorder, wide-angle Q8. And it's also synced with one of the Canon M50s. And then we have an independent microphone with the second Canon M50. So we have 6 audio streams. 2 of them are independent and 2 of them are synced. And this took a long time to get right. Then you've got to set the cameras, set the volumes, get the sound right. Then there's the lighting. And it was 2 months, Joe, when we did this before I even started filming. You know,
there's a lot of wires. There's a lot of things going on here. But it's amazing. You've managed to do this all on your own, you know, without any help. Which is impressive.
I've got to set everything up before the show. Then as we're filming it, do the interview.
You actually have to talk to the person.
I know this. I've got to remember that actually we're having a conversation as well. Yeah. But a big part of it, besides that, and the bit at the end, which you're the master at that's, you know, your bag, is the guests we've had on. I've been really lucky. We've had some great guests. And I was looking forward to getting you on the show because I'd spoke to you on the phone and I sensed straight away I knew I'd like you. You're very mild-mannered, softly spoken, very nice man, and understated as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, it's all been so smooth. Like, it's so nice for me to be able to, see all this going on, you know, and be a part of it. And it's funny because I've watched, you know, best part of 30 hours of you and just sat there, like, you know, meticulously going through it again and again, making sure it sounds right. And, you know, like, that's a lot of time. I haven't spent that much time listening to some of my best friends, you know. No. Like,
well, yeah, so you probably knew me quite well before you arrived, you know, and you know my meticulous ways, unfortunately.
Indeed. And you're like, don't do that, you know, like all of the, cut that. But, you know, it's all worked well.
What I find funny is you're now going to be editing your own show. I'm expecting stars, little, you know, shining stars behind your head and
like beautiful face skin filter with the you know, like, we'll see what I can do, you know.
Yeah. So Joe, what we do on this show, you know very well, is we go on a little bit of a journey, and I eventually stop talking and I let the guests talk, and we talk about your life, so your journey, and it all started in Coventry, is that right?
Yeah, it's my birth town. Is that what people? That's not what people say.
Place of birth.
Place of birth, where I was created.
Yes.
And then I don't really have that many memories of Coventry, really. But we moved as a family to Nottingham.
Do you have any brothers and sisters, Joe?
I'm the youngest of 3 brothers.
Right.
So I'm the little one who.
And your brothers, are they creative? Are they?
It's funny, right? Because in my head we've got So we're like 3 years or so apart each. So my oldest brother is like 33, something like that. I can't remember I never remember.
Sorry.
He's older. That's all I need to know. because my oldest brother. He lives in Boston. He's got 2 kids now.
Boston, USA.
Yeah. His wife's American.
I've been making excuses to go over.
Well, let's see it soon. Well,
Have you been yet?
I've not been. It's always kind of not. I've not quite managed to kind of get over there. But he's just had the cutest little baby girl.
Yeah.
Who's like only a few months old. So I need to go.
Yes.
Play with the cute baby. But he's like a composer, kind of musical genius, sort of mega creative kind of character. But he's it's like, sorry, Dave, but he's a bit, he's sort of so clever at music that I feel like some of the other aspects of his life kind of slip.
Very common. Yes.
And he like not very good at the washing up, and like dressing himself.
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy with that.
Some savants and geniuses struggle with very simple tasks and common sense because they're very, very gifted in other areas, but then the brain seems to be absorbed with that.
It is literally, you can be in a conversation with him and you'll be like, I know I'm only getting like 20% of your brain, and he'll be like composing some line in his,
elsewhere whilst humoring you.
It's sort of like floating away. Yeah, so great for his music, but kind of annoying otherwise.
You're a man of many talents, Joe, and we're going to talk about some of them towards the end of the show, which includes DJing, being in a band, salsa. There's a whole array of strings to your bow. But
I dabble.
You went to Sheffield University, which is where I went, but I went to the Hallam. I'm pretty sure you're going to say you went to the posh one.
Oh, the posh one. Yeah. You Hallam. Uni of. I had a great time in Sheffield.
I love the show notes when you say, and I got a degree in mechanical engineering, in brackets masters. Instead of just saying I studied mechanical engineering, it's very important.
You've got to know. It's part of my...
And it was 4 years and you got a master's. I did 4 years and I got a degree. How does that work?
I'm sorry. I don't know. It seemed like a good deal at the time. It's like, it's usually 3 years for the bachelor's and then 2 for the master's, but you can squish it together and do 4.
I did 4, but mine was a sandwich degree, so a year of that was a placement.
Okay, well there you go. So you're doing it. Yeah, you're getting a year of real life work experience.
Yeah, for very little money. So it was it was crap.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd nearly kind of burnt out in terms of the ability to study during my masters. I was very happy to be done with it at the end of it.
Yeah, me too. I was done with study when I left university. To be honest, I didn't do a lot of studying at university.
Oh, no, me neither. It's funny because, like, in terms of learning, like, I guess I've learned a lot about learning since leaving uni, and it feels like now, if I want to learn something, I can learn it generally without help. Like obviously having a mentor is useful, and there are a lot of benefits, but generally,
rather than there being the structure of, even if you're interested in some aspects of something, but you've got to learn the other bits to get the qualification. Now, if I'm interested in something, I'm passionate, it'll consume me. I'll just absorb as much information as I can. With this, because I knew nothing about this before, and I learnt a little bit about photography, video, sound, etc., learning these things. And because I was passionate about it, it came very easy. It's
like your brain wants that information, so it'll eat it up, like, whereas when you're at uni and you're just like trying to ram it in your head, and it'll stick for about. I just remember, like the exams, because I was a master last minute. A
masturbator.
Wow, that's a different topic. not. I
meant to say I was going to joke and say a master banker. I mean, that came out completely wrong. The joke was a play on masturbator, but I actually said masturbator.
Oh my gosh!
Oh dear, Sorry, Joe. Your mum isn't watching this.
Oh no. Anyway, what were you saying? Sorry.
I lost it now.
Something about learning. I can't remember.
Yeah, you were saying you'd fit it into your brain. You were a master at.
A master. So I kind of wouldn't do any work during the year, and then about 4 weeks before the exams, I'd learn everything in like a week. And it was just always amazing how on the day you could kind of get it out, but 2 days later the information's gone. Your brain doesn't want it anymore.
Part of the syllabus when I did my degree was structures and mechanics, and I was always gifted in maths, gifted. And I went in, and we did the first exam about a third of the way through the first year, and you had to average over the 2 years a 40% average on that element of the course. And I got, I think, 84% in the first exam, which meant I'd aced 42%. So I never went to a single class afterwards. I did the first third of the first year, and then I didn't go to a single class. I didn't sit another exam, and I passed.
And you were just fine. Well, that's pretty good going then.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah.
See, maximum gain, minimum effort.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
So, Joe, when you left university, you became a lift project manager.
Yeah, well, boy, what a story. My life. Right, well, so, graduated, and I was going out with a girl at the time, and it was all good. My final year of university was a really wonderful year. Like, had a good house.
Yeah.
Finally, kind of finding my groove in terms of life and having a good time. But I had no idea what I was doing, as is quite common after uni. So basically, the girl had a job in Staines, which is like Surrey area.
Yes.
And I was
as in Ali G Staines.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just go down there and find a job. And the company Schindler, based in Sunbury, which is just down the road, and they make lifts.
So, what was the name of the company, Joe?
Schindler and Schindler's Lifts. Yeah, there's a lot of what was the other one? It was always very up and down.
Oh yeah.
All this. There's a lot of crap lift jokes that came my way. But yeah, it seemed like an alright job. I do remember very heavily lying in the interview about how passionate I was about lifts. Hopefully,
I thought there was only ever one lift company, and that was Otis, because they have something like 80% of the world's market of lifts, don't they?
They're huge. There's I think Cone, Schindler, and Otis are the top three.
Yeah, but Otis has the majority, doesn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit out of the industry. It's been a little while.
Been a while since you were.
It turns out it wasn't actually my passion, lifts, surprisingly. But I did that for a year. It was a good entry into the working structure.
Yes.
As it is, and some good people in the office that I liked, some friends I've still got now, but ultimately it was
not for you.
It was stale. Yeah.
I don't think I'd be getting too excited about it. And when you do a new career like that, initially there's elements of it that are new, meet new people, and also it can be interesting at first because you're looking at the mechanics of it, how it works. But shortly into that, like when I did, tunnels, bridges, football stadiums, nuclear power stations, things like this, at first, cool. Interesting. Yeah, okay, let's do it. And some of the projects I've done were very specialist. But after a while, I just don't care. You lose the lust for life, and I started to really, not enjoy what I was doing. So
yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head there. It's like, I don't know, learning something the first time is cool. Like, I don't know, I like figuring stuff out.
Yeah, it's
right?
a challenge initially.
Yeah, but then you just sort of.
Yeah. People think, how could you be? But you're working on a nuclear power station, drilling holes into the reactor and doing this and that, and it's all and you've got several gangs, and you're using what they call a ferroscan and mapping the reinforcement within the reactor walls and all, and you think, yeah, but believe me, it's like anything. After a while, it just becomes very stale.
Yeah, I sort of used to say that I felt like the work was. I mean, maybe this has changed now, just above the point where you couldn't automate it.
Yeah.
So it was like just complicated enough that you couldn't get a computer to do it. And that's how it's like.
Right.
I felt like I didn't like that idea, like I was just kind of like sort of just, pressing buttons. You have no idea what's what really goes on. I never really, because I was an office-based lift manager, I never really saw any lifts, which is, that'd be one perk of the job at least.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of like pressing buttons and seeing what happens.
So Joe, this is when your story gets, for me, interesting. This is when you're doing something I'm thinking, I would love to do that. So you cycled, which is a passion of mine and a big passion of Colin Unsworth, who's just been on the show, who cycles naked on his 36-inch wheeled unicycle. But you cycle from Berlin to Sweden.
Yeah, so
rock and roll.
It was a good trip. It was a good. I'll explain. Yeah, I'll explain what happened.
Did you do it naked?
I was naked for times. I guess.
On the bike?
Not on the bike. I just wanted to sound cool. No. But a lot of time I was on my own and I could just kind of wander about, freely. But so I sort of felt like I needed to escape from London and the job and everything. And it started off with, there's a festival in Germany called Fusion.
Yep.
It's kind of like, in my head, like a kind of German Glastonbury. It's like pretty big and like quite sort of lefty, hippie kind of.
Yeah, sounds right up my street.
And originally you have to go in a roulette to get a ticket, and I didn't think I was going to get a ticket, but then suddenly I had one, and I was like, okay, there's this festival here at this time, and then I looked at, I was like, oh, let's make this into a thing, and I looked online at like volunteering websites and found this youth hostel in the middle of, like, it's like bang in the middle of Sweden. I kind of connected the dots, and like I was like, okay, well, let's
do this.
I was like, let's cycle. I feel like I'm not really a big cycle. Like, I like cycling, but I'm not a big cyclist. So I was just like, oh, screw it, let's do this. And
awesome.
then, like, the last sort of 2 months of my job, I just spent the whole time like planning my trip, researching all the gear, getting like my side bags and tent and like stove.
You
and
camped on the way and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. Yeah,
it was fun. I have to admit, I did a few like Airbnb kind of hostels, like when I couldn't, I wanted a nice bed.
But you need a shower every now and again.
But it took about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I got a ferry, north to the it's a place called Rostock in North Germany. Got a ferry over to south of I think the south of Sweden, Helsingborg somewhere, and then I went across to Denmark, up to Copenhagen, back over to Malmö, and then all the way up into the nearest town's Örebro.
Say that again.
Örebro.
Right.
Which is in the forest of Tiveden.
Right, and that's where you stayed there for 6 months.
Yeah, it's about 6 months in a youth hostel.
Running it or just chilling?
So there's a little team of volunteers, like generally about 6 to 10 of us. So there's a group of 3 that run the hostel. A guy called Anders, who's a legend, and you got Fralan and Lisa as well. Great bunch of people running the hostel, and they kind of get volunteers in. It's kind of they get the work for free. I got to stay and eat for free, but then I work.
Yeah.
And then they get help. So it's kind of like a win-win. I get to go away and stay. Yeah. And I was cleaning rooms, serving food, cleaning up.
It's funny, at the time, I think if I've had any periods like that in my life, although it's good, you don't fully appreciate it until afterwards, and then you remember and think, wow, I might not have had anything, but they were good times.
I was so like
food and shelter and.
Well, I just appreciated things like so much more, and I never felt as comfortable. Like looking back, I was so comfortable there
because there was a bit of nudity going on there, wasn't there?
Well, there was a lake nearby, skinny dipping a lot.
Yeah.
Like I do remember, I have a very fond memory of a day that we spent. Two friends, they had like a secret spot. So there's these 2 big lakes in Sweden. I think it's the Vättern we went to, and they had like a secret spot that you could go into. This kind of like rocky outcrop by the lake, like dead as far as I can see, nobody around. Like with like little rocks going into the water, like beautiful nature, and we sat there. The 3 of us naked, like I've only recently got used to the idea of that. I was like, okay, like playing board games all day, in the sun, eating like a pasta salad. I just have this very specific memory, and just like go for a swim, come back.
Who are you with?
So it's this guy Anders, and then his kind of partner at the time, Elsa. Oh gosh, I can't remember the names. I just like really close friends, amazing time. Like
very close.
Well, it's all casual nudity,
Yeah. Well, it's different over there. The culture's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody, like you said in the pre-show chat, a lot of people have saunas and they just strip off. And I think it's great because everybody's less concerned about body image and more concerned about the person inside.
Yeah, just being comfortable, like and having a nice time. Yeah. So just like good times, good time. Like I appreciated like, you know, sort of, I don't know, work in the office is so kind of complicated and feels a bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
And like cleaning, like the kind of work was just satisfactory and rewarding. And like you clean it, it's clean, wicked. Like you can see the results. Or like you feed someone and you're like, that's, you know, it's like.
And then you can switch off. You're not taking any stress home with you either. You
exactly.
do what you do and then it's your time, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, so basically there's a chapel, what used to be a chapel that they'd converted into a music space. So the guy Anders, he's got like a black metal band, and they've got like
metal.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty hard stuff. It's like a wall of sound, but it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Like he's got like, you know, hair down to here and like.
There's a film that was on the pictures about a year or 2 years ago about a black metal band based in Sweden or somewhere, and going around burning churches down and stuff. And
what?
Yeah. It's like a black dark comedy, but it was good.
Okay.
Can't remember the name of it now, but
Oh well, I mean, it's not necessarily my kind of music, but yeah, like fun.
Some kinds of music I don't particularly like, but I can still have some kind of respect for them and think, okay, well, it's good. It's not my thing, but I can see why people like it, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like just an appreciation, you know.
Yes.
And like, because he'd recorded an album, and you know, we did like a listening in this old, because this chapel, like he turned into a music space with like every instrument you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of old Swedish log.
Sounds
cabin.
amazing, yeah.
And we just used to, you know, get a bit drunk and just jam out like for like hours and hours on end. And you kind of like start at 6 after work, and you know, kind of come to it about, you know, 4 a.m. and just be like, oh, whoa, what happened? Like, and I've kind of gone to another dimension. So I got all these things coming flooding back. We had this synthesizer which nobody really knew what it was or how it worked. But it was called the Space Box. And it was just this little box that had like a few buttons on it. And nobody knew, like, it just kind of made really satisfying synthy noises. And I, like, over the course of the time there, became like a kind of expert at this synth box.
The Space Box, yeah. Somebody get Joe on the phone.
And I'd just be like there, and I was like, you know, like, yeah, like in another world, like just jam it. Oh, it was wonderful.
How old are you, Joe?
I am 27.
27.
Soon to be 28.
Right, that makes you 4 years younger than me. I'm teasing. 21 years younger than me.
20. Wait.
Yeah,
okay.
I've nearly double your age. Yeah, old man. Yeah. You haven't seen a film called Midsummer, have you?
You know what? I've not seen it, but because I went to my housemate was watching it and I got scared and then I left.
Good move. I watched it. It's the first film I've watched. I've talked about it a couple of times on the radio. It's the first film I've watched in a decade that disturbed me a bit. That afterwards, for 2 nights after, I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep properly. It starts off, it's very dark. There's people killing themselves and stuff like this. And they go to a festival in either Norway or Sweden.
Yeah.
And this festival then turns out they all have some kind of brew, hallucinogenic brew, and it all goes sideways. And it's messed up. I mean, really messed up.
Yeah. I'd heard, a friend had told me, I think almost the exact thing. He was like, I don't think I've ever been this disturbed before. No. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna strike that one off the list.
I used to get a little bit of the kick. We'd watch a horror film. Willow doesn't want to watch one, but we'd watch the odd one, and I'd get a little bit of fun out of Willow. Get a little bit frightened, you know.
Yeah,
and then I'd say, all right, okay, and whatever. I said to Willow, don't watch this. Don't watch it, because it disturbed me. Yeah, really, really heavy.
Yeah. Okay. I think as a kid we watched one of the Indiana Jones movies, and I couldn't sleep for a week. And that's not a scary movie.
No, it's not. No.
Big baby.
Yeah. So, Joe, then after your expedition, you're cycling from Berlin to Sweden, you're chilling out in a church that's a studio, recording music and having what sounds like an amazing time. You went home because you decided to get a proper job.
I know.
What happened?
I know. So, yeah, my time in Sweden, it got very cold, as it does.
Yeah.
Beautiful Swedish summer. And then around kind of November time, it went down to minus, 10, 20 degrees. So that was a bit of a shock. And then I ran out of money.
Yeah.
Another bit of an issue.
Most people do. I went travelling a couple of years ago on my my intention was to go to Spain, to Pamplona, to the Run with the Bulls, and I foolishly went via Ibiza. What a big mistake! I had the funds, I had the time, everything. It was the right time for me to do it, and I went via Ibiza. I went to a couple of places en route, and then I went to Ibiza and blew the money that I had left in Ibiza and never made it to Pamplona. And I'm gutted about that, you know. But there is a time usually where, you know, it's time to head back.
Yeah, you kind of feel it. Oh, did you have a good time in Ibiza at least?
Yeah, it was all right. I wish I'd gone running with the Bulls.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But no, like, I knew, like, it I guess, funnily, it felt like I was like, oh, no, what about my career? The career, I've got to do something about that, which maybe my opinions have changed about since. But, you know, like, I felt like I was like, I've had the fun. I've got to go back and reintegrate.
I have a funny feeling that your career has unfolded in front of your eyes without any effort. You know,
it's starting to improve, definitely.
Yeah, but you've got multiple things going on, which we'll talk about as well. But I think sometimes in life, if you pursue your passion as a sideline, so you're not just going out partying all the time like I used to, and then you've got this time outside normal working hours, and you can utilise that in lots of different ways. And if you fulfil your passion and follow your heart in those times, quite often your career can change, your direction, your life can change, but you've got to be prepared to do a little bit of work, you know, and move forward in a new direction, get outside your comfort zone. And I think you becoming a self-employed video editor on the side of your main job as well now is going to take you to places, you know. And by the way, if anybody wants to use Joe and thinks he's available, he's not. I'm using all his time. He's mine, and you can't have him, okay?
Help.
Exclusively working for midnight hours. No, but nowhere else. Okay.
He's got me locked up now.
Get back under the table, Joe. That sounded wrong,
That sounded terrible.
Yeah.
I'm okay, don't worry. But no, like, yeah, it's a journey, you know? Like, I'm still figuring out what the deal is exactly, but... yeah, like I found a lot of passion in, like, I guess I've always known that there's a creative aspect to me. Like as a teenager, I had the kind of technical capability, which is why it was like suggested that I go do engineering, which obviously it's a good degree to have and it's kind of helped me out a lot. But I think there was a big creative aspect that was always missed out. So being able to get into like the kind of technical creativity, as I kind of think of it, where there's a lot of kind of complicated stuff going on with the software and the you know, kind of mathsy stuff, but then there is the creative aspect of you're making something which wants to look nice. The kind of marrying of those two has kind of been a real winner for me.
It's also developing a relationship with somebody you're working with, like myself. And initially you start off with the basics where there's several feeds, you've got multiple cameras, and there's that aspect, which is time consuming, but probably relatively straightforward. Then outside that, there comes the difficult customer, which somebody that's very specific like me that says, from 22 minutes and 13 seconds in to 22 minutes and 19 seconds in, I don't quite like the sound of that, and I will remove
rubbish.
that. Yeah. Then there's the third bit, which I think you're stepping into now, which is the creativity bit, where after we've done 20 shows, I say to you, the social media clips, the edit of the show, etc. We started doing this before, but run with it.
Just go for it.
Yeah. And that's a confidence thing because, for instance, the social media clips that we've been doing lately, there's no input from me. You've just been rattling them off because you now know how I think.
I'm getting inside. I'm inside your mind.
Oh!
Get out of there. Like working together for a while, we know.
Yeah, you start to see my vision and maybe how I see things and how I'd like things to look, and then you get to know somebody really well, don't you? I mean, that's the relationship, how it develops, and that's a big part of it. So you could have all the skills, but you've got to be able to develop that relationship, and I think that's been a learning curve for both of us, but it's been a fantastic journey.
It's wonderful. I think that's an aspect that I did not think would be like
as difficult.
Rewarding.
Yes.
Where I think when you're working in a big company, for somebody, you know, or you're part of a big, because you're not driven by your own steam. You know, you kind of, you're part of this big thing, and you don't care as much really, because it's and so because I, you know, like
you're a cog in a wheel, a cog in a machine. Sorry,
but like, which, you know, I'm not saying that it's all bad in that, but you know, for me, the fact that I've, you know, found this connection came about of my own accord, and we work together in this energy that I don't need to put in.
In a big machine, you can get lost in there and be a little cog. In this machine, you are a significant part of this machine.
A big cog.
Yeah, a massive cog. Yeah. Well, there's only 2 cogs. So, Joe, we'll talk about a couple of the things that you do outside this. So besides your main job, and besides the fact that you're now a very competent, amazing video editor and a massive part of this show, you also do other things. And you're a salsa dancer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, guilty. A little bit less lately, but a big part of my kind of uni and like last few years.
Yes,
it's like I'm trying to remember how I got into it in the first place. I think it was just basically there was a chap, Richards, who in a bar in Sheffield, it was £1 for a salsa lesson on a Thursday night, which
I'd drive to Sheffield for that.
Exactly, and lovely guy, great teacher, and I think we were just there for a drink, and he the thing with salsa lessons is you generally have like a lot more women turn up than guys for some reason.
Nothing wrong with that.
And so he's usually trying to like round up, you know, because you need generally like the women
need
are following.
Some more male partners,
yeah, you need the male partners. And I think we just got whipped up into giving it a go. And before I knew it, I was salsaing every night. Had a like great group of people as well. Yeah. Like again, I applied my kind of like technical obsession where I had a spreadsheet of all the moves that I knew.
I didn't know you could do a spreadsheet for salsa.
Well, yeah, you know, like
I do them all the time, but
it's like taking something creative and like, you know, technicalifying. that's not a word. But yeah, I like to think I was like reasonably good at one point. I went to a few like salsa like gatherings, festivals, and things. It was so fun. Like I'm very flamboyant.
Really?
There's some good
You should do
footage.
A Dungeons and Dragons salsa evening. Yes.
The thought of that is kind of too much for my brain to handle. Jeez, like orcs dressed up in like you know, with the hats and stuff. But yeah, it's like a lot of fun. A little bit less now. I'm in London. It's a bit harder to find a good scene, but the Sheffield salsa scene was good. Was amazing. Yeah.
And you've had an album, you're the bass player in a group, and you've had an EP, and that's on Spotify.
Yeah. A little while ago, it's fun. This whole like people telling me things that I've done is weird. I'm like, all right, calm down.
Yeah.
But I played bass for a band called Young Peculiar, and we gigged a lot. It was a lot of fun.
You played me the last track. Was that in Sheffield?
Yeah.
You played me the last track on the EP today with a female vocalist, and it's fantastic.
She's amazing. Yeah.
No, I mean the whole sound is brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool. I feel like my music taste has gone towards the more dance.
Yeah. Well, and then the next thing is what I'd just seen you'd sent me a link for is your DJing. And you're now starting to do a live feed and sessions that you posted the first one on Facebook recently.
Yeah.
I'd listened to it and it's right up my street. Really like the music. Yeah. But you had your pajamas on and you were texting while you were doing it.
I wasn't taking it too seriously, no.
Twiddling one knob while you're texting like that.
Yeah. Guys, I'm live. Like, come look. So like I said, for some reason, with the work from home now being the kind of norm, I've taken it upon myself to create the most high quality video call setup possible. Yeah. So I've got multiple on Friday. I got multiple angles now that I can cut to whilst I'm on a video call. So I just always wanted to have it so I can talk to you here, and then I can have a camera over here so I can look and then make a point and then and then cut back again. I was like, how good's that? And then I had another one where I cut into like just my eyes, right, and then cut back out. I was just
I've done a couple of Zoom meetings and I thought I was breaking the bank. I've got like a Blue Yeti, the microphone which I do the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, smooth audio. Yeah.
Yes, it's all right. Yeah, it's not like this. It's not like the Rode Procaster. It's not like these mics.
These beautiful mics.
But as far as the video goes, if I do a Zoom call, it's just the webcam.
Yeah. I don't know why I've just got on this mission. So now I've got my like pro camera.
I can't imagine your multiple camera angles on a Zoom call going, yes, and that's what I think. What do you think? Yes. What about you, John?
Well, literally, it's brilliant. I don't know. I just love, fucking about, basically. Like, it brings me joy.
Messing with people's heads on a Zoom call.
Basically, well,
how's he doing that?
Well,
how many computers have you got?
Exactly. Like on a Monday morning when everyone's like a bit, and you can kind of have a bit of fun with these calls. But yeah, so I've got the kit to do streaming, lights and cameras and all that. And I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. I got some decks. I never really learned how to DJ, but you teach yourself.
How's it going? Because I've been pricing up decks, and it's something I really want to give a go. I literally, when we talked earlier and you showed me, I thought in the last couple of weeks, I've been probably looking a bit longer, but in the last couple of weeks, I've been looking a bit more seriously. And I'm not going to get anything too fancy, some fairly basic decks, but I want to have a go.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, you can learn anything on YouTube, obviously.
Yeah.
You can get a basic pair of decks, 200-300 quids, and you just need a laptop.
Yeah,
and then away you go. Really, that's basically it. Like I don't know. I think like there's kind of like mixing songs like you can learn quite easily, and there's like this kind of fancy DJing that you can do where you kind of like with the scratching and all that, which is maybe less my thing. But
I did a radio show and I had Lee Woody on, who twice won the World DJ Championship, and I've seen some clips of him scratching, and it's off the chart.
It's mental, yeah. It's
DJ Woody is called, or Lee Woody. Yeah.
Awesome. Like I've always I love it. I wouldn't want to. It's not. I don't know. I'm not so keen on learning it, but like I thought it was super cool. Yeah. For me, it's something I don't know why, but it's something about just I don't know being live and just having like my mates just kind of be like, what's he doing? Why is he on my Facebook?
Yeah.
And getting the green screen and silly
graphics
visuals
behind you,
yeah. So I had I got a giraffe onesie. So the last one I did, I had a giraffe onesie.
And that wasn't your first one, I saw.
No, that wasn't for.
All right.
I've been slowly kind of trying a few, but like at the start of lockdown when like, everyone was indoors, I was like, I can do something fun for my friends, right?
Yeah.
And I giraffe onesie, and then I had like all these clips of giraffes in the zoo behind me. So I was like, I was a giraffe in a zoo, and like also like DJing some like hard techno, I guess it's like maybe I like to entertain, but I don't know. Like I'm a bit shy sometimes, so I'm not sure.
Well, I think you should go full naked, and we'll have the naked DJ, have a big 10-gallon hat on, and that'll be something. Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Will Facebook ban me for being naked? That is the question. Probably.
And then finally, Joe, we'll talk about what you're interested in now and where you're heading, because I know you'd mentioned about VFX and CGI. So this is something that you're moving towards and you're passionate about.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's been a journey from buying my camera as the first step towards creativity, and then learning editing, which I feel like I've kind of
cracked.
I've cracked now.
Yeah.
But I know that editing is not the that's not the end goal for me. I like editing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've always been inspired by sweet visuals in movies.
Yeah.
Things like The Matrix and like cool action and.
Have you seen Tenet yet?
No, I'm going to go see it next week.
I've seen it.
Is it amazing?
I don't want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it. I'm going to go see it in the IMAX, the big one.
Yeah,
I can't wait. The new Nolan movie. Oh, because
it's a mind melter.
Good.
It's
like
difficult at places you think, what is going on? But yeah, it's good.
Okay, that's right up my street. That definitely.
Yeah.
It's something like having something that's not real been created from someone's imagination and placed into reality, which is like the kind of VFX, visual effects, and for me it always felt like a kind of an unobtainable skill that could never be learned. But with I was furloughed, so I had a bit of time on my hands to
dress up as a giraffe and play music.
Some was used well, some was used, and I sort of tried to pick up some of the skills, and I really like this.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna go from here, but trying to get a hold of the hard skills, and I can go get a job, get a client or something in that space.
Yeah.
With view to like the Marvel movies with all this like cool laser beams and exploit that. I want to make that. But it's vastly complicated. I thought I was going to be able to just pick it up, but it turns out I
think there's a lot to it.
There's teams of thousands of people working for years to make this stuff.
I've known a few people that have worked on movies in aspects of special effects and creating sets and things like this. And I don't think anybody realises how much money and how much time's involved.
It's
they
crazy.
build entire cities, and some of the sets cost, tens of millions. And some of the movies they make now, a big budget for a movie, you go back 20 years ago, a big budget was 20 million.
Yeah.
Now, there was a time when it was 100 million, like Waterworld set the bracket. I think I can't remember what that was, 120, or it might have even been 200. Now, some of the movies, can take, like Avatar took many years to make, and the budget can be hundreds of millions, approaching even, $500 million plus.
Yeah. It's crazy. But then you see what they make and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd compare that, Joe, where you're saying you evolve and maybe you move towards CGI and VFX. Like, I did the radio and then I got interested in sound, and I thought, I'll just get a Zoom H6 and a couple of mics. And then I thought, I wonder if I could get a camera and do some video podcasts. And then I got into this. And when I'll do something, I'll get to a certain point with it, and I'm constantly evolving, changing, and I just follow my attention, and it never stays still for very long. I'll follow something. I have to see where it goes. And I'm lucky because certainly with doing this, I'm doing something I love, but to follow your heart and your passion, when that's stemmed, when that universal energy, that force is cut for me, I become depressed. I need to do what makes me happy and brings me joy and bliss. And this brings me joy and bliss.
And that's wonderful, isn't it? Like when you find that and you can do it.
Yeah. But next year it'll be something else, or it might be this, but I've evolved and we're doing it live, or it could be anything else. And
it's that kind of continual pursuit of, I wouldn't say being better, but just kind of expanding
it's
what
following
you're doing.
Whatever I'm interested in, wherever my attention goes, I have to go in that direction. And if I can't do that, I become sad.
Yeah.
It's like a flower being watered and then cutting the water off. That passion, that energy, that's what feeds me. And I've got boundless energy when I'm doing something I love. When I'm doing something I hate, I've got no energy, and I become, like I say, very low.
Yeah. It sucks a bit that you can't always do what you want.
Well, who says I can't?
Are you telling me what to do? No. No, definitely.
I think sometimes there's choices to be made, and people say, well, I can't do that. Well, you can. You just have to maybe go and live in a caravan or do this. If you're prepared to do what it takes, then you can usually do what you want. But you have to be prepared to,
it's
maybe
scary.
step outside the bubble, and make some life changes and life choices.
I think, I feel, for me, it feels like there's something like that kind of around the corner, because I'm still, I'm working, the job I've been in for over 3 years now, and I'm probably going to be ready to do something new.
Well, I want you to come and work for me.
Move to Bolton.
I say work with me. Yeah, no, I do. I mean, I'm not there yet, but that's what I want. I want you to do this with me full time, and I want to be able to put all my energy and focus into this. So you never know. Let's see what the universe
we
brings our way.
We will see what serves up. DJing for you, definitely.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm going to announce now, this will be show number 25. Show number 30 will be with you and hit YouTube before the end or by the 1st of October. When we get to 50 shows, I'm going to have a party, and I'm going to invite all the guests that have been on the show and the partners, and we're going to have a shakedown. We're going to have a party, and Joe's going to come as well. So
I can throw the tunes for you.
Of course, that's why you're coming.
Oh, brilliant! I don't get to have any fun.
No, but I think if we hit 50 shows, that's something to be really proud of, I think. And,
rightfully so.
Yeah, and we'll host a party.
It'd be a good excuse for a party, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet all these people, because especially for me, who I've edited all these people.
Yeah,
and
so you get to meet
know
them all.
a bit, and I'll be, I know you.
Yeah,
I remember you.
So you'd get to meet all the people that you actually know quite well indirectly, and they get to meet each other, and this wonderful community, and I've had some amazing guests on the show. You know,
Some really lovely people.
Yeah.
I can tell, from my point of view, editing it, I do I get nice warm feelings when I'm watching it. So
I watch clips of some of the shows, and certainly some of the extras and the funny bits and things like that. I can't stop smiling. You know, certain shows as well. There's the energy in the show, in the room. I'm shining because I'm loving it, and I can't wait to do the show. You know, so I'm very lucky, very lucky. Also, we're going to have a consultation after, because there's a few bits of kit that we're looking at, which include a gimbal, which is one we haven't got yet.
The best bit, yeah.
Yeah, and a few of the bits, and I'm going to consult you and get your advice, because you're the man in the know.
I know a few things. I know how to Google things, definitely.
well, yeah.
No. I'm a technophile. Is that what you say? I think so. Yeah.
A technophile, yeah.
Technophile. All things. Like I remember, I always used to any excuse to rearrange my gear. You know, I love unplugging stuff, moving stuff around.
Yeah, I like that. But in the studio here, unfortunately, I like not moving anything, because every time you move one thing, it's time consuming and stressful to put it back. So
yeah, I could tell I wanted to start playing with things, but you're no, get off my
with the video podcast with London Real, The Real Geordie, Joe Rogan, and Russell Brand's Under the Skin, I think it is, and Rich Roll does one as well. All of these people have a studio. It's a permanent setup, and they don't move it.
Yeah. I guess you get that consistency.
If you're churning the shows out regular and you're trying to do at least 2-3 a week, then they have a separate bits of kit. If they're filming outside, separate kit. So
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for you to get that gimbal. Can I borrow it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll do a test drive with it. We'll take it out. Yeah.
You can get some amazing stuff. Smooth, buttery smooth.
Yeah. Joseph Ibbett. Thank you very much for all your hard work, everything you've done up to this show, number 25. You've been awesome. You've been amazing. Couldn't do it without you. I'm really lucky to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you.
Thanks for coming up from London for the day to meet me, to see me. And this will be the first of many visits, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I don't know. Thank you. Melting. Yeah, no, it's good.
Thanks.
It's really good. Thanks.
So, folks, I'm going to leave you with a quote from the book, From Pills to Peace by me, Midnight McBride. And this week's quote is, "The music you hear inside is your Dharma. Dance to it." This means that whatever you feel inside, your passion, follow your heart. Do what brings you joy and bliss. Do what makes you happy. Express yourself. Don't die with your music still in you, as Wayne Dyer would say. So, the music inside you hear is your Dharma. Dance to it. Follow your heart and follow your passion. Like I'm doing with the show, and like Joe's doing as well. So you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me on Amazon to buy the paperback book and the Kindle book. You can get the audiobook on Amazon, iTunes and Audible. You can also go to the website, midnightmcbride.com. You can also listen to the radio show, the Mind, Body and Spirit show, every Monday night at 11 till midnight on Salford City Radio, 94.4 FM. You can also subscribe to this podcast, and if you do so, there's 2 new shows coming out, one on Sunday and one on Thursday every week, and you'll automatically get these shows. And you can listen to the audio version of this podcast, which comes out on iTunes, Podbean and Spotify, and now to come out on Amazon, Deezer and some others. This has been a Midnight Towers production. There's also going to be some tech videos that we're working on at the minute, and a few special projects which include Sally Bolton, Colin Unsworth and Joe DJing as well, possibly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. I love doing this show. I'm very grateful, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll speak to you very soon. Shalom. I'm going to throw a big party when we get to 50.
Oh my, can I come?
Yeah, yeah, of course. The plan is I'm going to invite all the guests that have been on the show.
Oh, celebrity party. Yeah. That'd be fun.
So, folks, I'm going to leave you with a quote from the book From Pills to Peace by myself. I always cock this end up.
Always,
time. Yeah,
always,
I know,
every
time. Because we finished the show, even though it's exactly the same scenario, environment, situation, but mentally we finish the show, we carry on talking, everybody just drops into this.
Have I just gone smooth now?
Yeah, you just drop into it. It happens every time.
No.
And then we carry on,
Right.
everything's recording, and they just go, oh, well, yeah.
It's like, now we can talk the real dirt. Yeah.
yeah.